Okay, sir. Take it away.
All right. My name is Derek Baker from the awesome must-see show, Baker's Bantering. To my right, Katie, Marty, Kevin Baker.
Hey.
And to my left, Valerie and Baker.
Hello.
And, of course, the host, Jenna Nicole Baker.
Of course.
Thank you so much, Derek. That was awesome.
What a lovely
Thanks.
intro.
We are Baker's Bantering.
We're excited to be here today.
Battling. Anyway, what was it at?
Anyway, there's a present on the table, and Derek is very curious about it. Well, I guess if you want to start with that, Derek, you could pick it up and hand it to your sister.
All right.
It's for me?
It is for Katie.
Who's it from?
It is from me, your sister.
Oh,
I bought it for you.
I think I know what it is.
Just put that stuff on the floor so you don't. Yeah, but maybe not there. Maybe you should have thrown it on the other side of you.
Of course. How could I ever be silly?
There you go. I intentionally wrapped it in a bag so it hopefully wouldn't make too much extra noise for Ellis.
Okay, well, I will be minimal with my noise.
She loves purple.
This is my favorite color.
Favorite color.
I love it. Thank you.
Will you hold it up and show everyone else? Can you read it, Derek?
It says, in my teacher era.
Woo woo!
In my teacher era.
So let me tell you a little
That's
story
cool.
real quick. So my friend Chelsea has this t-shirt company, Babe Bungalow, and I believe she runs it with another one of her friends, Ariana, but definitely my friend Chelsea runs it. And I've never bought anything from them, but I've always been meaning to buy something from them because they do create really cute stuff, and they create a lot of cute St. Louis style shirts and stuff like that. And she posted that, I don't know, a week ago, 2 weeks ago, probably 2 weeks ago at this point. She posted that shirt, and I immediately messaged her, and I was like, I need this for my sister. And within a day, she had made it, and it was ready to go. But I was seeing Catherine this past week. I had dinner with her, and so I told Chelsea she could just give the shirt to Catherine, and I would get it from her, and then whatever. And then last night, I already had it in my possession, already purchased it, completely my own idea. Last night, I checked my DMs, and I hadn't checked my DMs from Katie for a while, apparently.
Well, because okay, so this is what happened from my perspective, because she posted that she got like a PR something from them, like that she had a package from them. You posted their Instagram.
I did post their Instagram.
So I clicked on their Instagram and I saw it and I was like, I need this. And then I was like, this is what Jenna got from them. Like, I knew it.
Yeah, well,
You ruined the surprise.
I knew if
She
you
ruined the surprise.
I knew if you clicked on it, you were going to know, but I didn't care because I wanted to give them the plug. And I knew if I didn't just like take the picture and post it right then I wasn't going to give them the plug. So I just went ahead and gave them the plug, and I knew Katie might figure it out, but I wasn't too worried about that. But then I checked my Instagram last night, and after I already had the gift ready to go for today, I see a DM from her that's like,
I need
this. I was like, oh, well, good thing it's already in my other room.
Oh my God. You mean my room?
Yeah, it was in your guest bedroom, aka the guest bedroom of my house, aka Katie's room in my house that she claims, because she has a room in your house and my house, apparently.
Lucky her.
I know.
Okay, well, Derek wanted a room and a WWE room, so we all have needs.
Yeah, well, there you go.
And now you have your recording studio. Who'd thunk it?
That's true.
That is true.
So
That's true.
Katie is entering her teacher era.
I am.
And I thought that deserved to be celebrated with a cute little shirt.
Well, and I just am so excited because I do have this like adorable little skirt that has like some purple detailing in it with like some seafoam green and some blues and stuff like that.
I know, I was already thinking it
Match
should be
it
your
perfect.
first day of school outfit.
Yeah, except I think that
She hates me.
all the
The
teachers,
drama.
all the teachers are wearing like a back to school t-shirt.
Okay, it
thing.
can be your second day of school outfit.
Yes, yes.
Hey, Katie.
Yeah.
During wrestling wrap up, my favorite sister should be you. I think it's gonna be you and Aaliyah Mysterio.
Yeah, well, okay, so a little behind the scenes information for you guys today. We did record the weekly wrestling wrap up first because Katie had some work that she had to get done at school today and she was not quite ready to be on the podcast. So we recorded the last segment first. And during that weekly wrestling wrap up, Katie, he announced that Aaliyah Mysterio was his favorite sister today because I
Let's hear it.
was cheering for Dom, and I was happy to hear that Dom won at NXT yesterday, which you guys will all hear later on in this podcast. But that is what he's referring to.
Mm. Well, I'm honored to be up there with Aaliyah on the at the top of your list.
Good.
I do have a question. So is Dom just like on NXT now?
Who knows? Who
Okay.
knows?
I mean, he
Okay.
got drafted to Monday Night Raw, right?
He got drafted on Raw. He will stays on Raw, not with the stupid title.
So I think he's probably still on Raw also, but
He's fought on NXT the last 2 weeks.
Well, he did the first week, and then he did this past week at the pay-per-view event or the premiere live event. That was an NXT event.
What was that called again?
The Great American Bash,
Yep.
right?
The Great American Bash.
Yeah, but we already recorded the weekly wrestling wrap
Yeah,
up.
so moving
let's-
on from the wrestling.
Let's transfer back. So I have an ADHD problem thing that I have to update you guys about. So the last podcast episode we talked about, you weren't here, Mom, but I did admit to the fact that I left a grocery bag at the
I already
grocery
watched it.
store. Yeah. So that
So
happened
did I.
2 Fridays ago.
And she picked up the wrong keys.
Yeah. There was a whole thing. It was a moment.
Rockies.
But I've redeemed myself. Week 1, I forgot a grocery bag and tried to drive the wrong car. But week 2, I went to the grocery store. I picked up my stuff that I needed for the weekend at the river. And I was in the grocery store parking lot when I remembered that I had paid for ice, but I didn't get the ice. So I went back inside while I was still there and I got my ice that I paid for. And I successfully got home with everything that I purchased.
That was a close call, Jenna.
It was a close call.
I think she wants a gold star.
You get a gold star, Jenna.
It was
That's
a
so
win
good.
from the week before,
Jeffy
Mom.
didn't hear that. He wrote they would give Jeffy will give you a gold star.
It was a step up from what happened the week before.
A+
Congratulations.
for adulting Jenna.
It was better than the week before, and that is what we are celebrating today.
Moving on.
Moving on, Derek, you had quite the day on Saturday, and I would like to talk about it with you.
Which one?
Well, it was this past Saturday, and we were at the river, and Derek got to come kayaking with us the whole day. Was that your first time going for the whole day like that?
It was. It was super fun.
In a kayak.
Yeah.
The first time that he got dropped off and he didn't have to come in the boat.
I mean,
No,
he's come in the canoe before all day.
Yeah, he has.
Oh, okay. So it was your first time all day on the kayak.
Yes.
Yeah, it was a double kayak with Uncle Scott.
Yeah, it was way different.
Was it fun?
Way different.
Then
It's
what?
like mini version of canoe.
Oh, it's way different than the canoe.
Yeah.
Which one do you prefer?
I think double kayak.
You like the double kayak?
Did you have fun with Uncle Scott?
I did.
Tell me more.
We talked, we sang, and
What were you singing?
I did hear you singing at one point. Do you remember what you were singing?
and Scott was singing a random river song, and I was singing one of my favorites when I was growing up, and that was "Row, Row, Row Your Boat."
I did hear him singing "Row Your Boat." It was very cute.
Row, row, row your boat, sailing down the stream. Merrily, merry, merry, love time to stream. So with me, 3, 2, 1.
Oh,
Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream.
Danny, can I have a rap?
Oh, Denny doesn't have a mic anymore. We took his mic away for Katie. We don't need a rap. The singing in unison was very good.
I got you. Row, 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 row. Sailing down the stream. Coming the boat.
This is so bad.
I will be your dream.
I'll be your dream.
Oh, yeah. And that is Baker's Bantering.
Is that good, Danny?
2 thumbs up.
We can
up
do it
from
all.
Denny.
Yeah.
Now we're rappers.
Wow.
Uncle Scott can't give us 2 thumbs up, can he? Nope.
No, just one and a hub.
That was
one and a nub.
that was such a funny joke Allison made the other morning.
Oh, that was good. Dad came in wearing his jorts, okay? And Allison made some
I saw
comment
it.
to him about
It was
his
Beans John Cena.
jorts. And then he made some comment about, well, don't try to hit on me now, girls, blah, blah, blah. And I, of course, was like, oh my God, Dad, really? And Allison said, well, I don't know. I don't have much choices. It's just you or the guy with 9 fingers. For those of you that haven't picked up on this yet, our Uncle Scott only has 1 thumb. He accidentally cut it off in a construction accident a long time ago.
Long time ago.
And it is a fun joke for our family. We do enjoy making jokes about his lack of a thumb. Speaking of... Oh, okay. So you and Uncle Scott did appear to be having a lot of fun, but I want to talk about what happened when the rest of us went on a little hike and you and Uncle Scott decided you weren't going to go on the hike. So you kept floating and you stopped at the riverbank that was around the corner. And when we came and met up with you, it was easily like 30, 45 minutes later. And when we met up with you, it looked like you were having quite a party over there. Who were those people?
Those are Baker Banner fans. And they are so cool.
I don't know that they were Baker Banter fans. You didn't start
So cool.
You didn't start talking to them because they knew who you were, did you?
They know me.
He turned them into fans.
I think so.
I think he recruited them to be fans. But when you first started talking to them, they didn't know that you were on TikTok.
No.
No. But then
And the other guy, his name is Kevin.
his name was really Kevin.
Oh my
this
God,
time.
Kevin exists.
There was an actual Kevin on the river.
Kenny is just like Kevin.
Okay, so now we can have Kenny be Kenny and you have your own Kevin.
Yes, there was a different Kevin. But
They're both perfect names.
so you were there with them when we pulled up, and I don't know what happened before I got there, but from my understanding after I got there, I was under the impression that the people you were talking to, you just made friends with because you're cool and you just started talking to them. But then while you were talking to them, somebody else got out of the water, saw you, he did recognize you, and he came up and he was like, oh, I didn't realize you guys were hanging out with a celebrity over here.
And that was Kevin.
Oh, now we know why we like Kevin.
Oh, so Kevin's the one who did know
So
you.
shout out Kevin.
Shout out Kevin.
Speaking of which, at the Y today, I met one of those Ross middle school kid.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Ross Elementary?
Yeah,
So were they there when we gave our speech?
they are,
And they remembered you?
and they did.
What'd they say?
Well, first, I saw Carol. Shout out to Carol. Rob and I are playing basketball, and Carol was there in a gym with me, and Karen and I talked and have a conversation to talk about wrestling with her. And
So was Carol there when you gave your speech, when we gave our speech at Ross Elementary School?
not the school.
Oh, so you were talking to Carol
at the Y
Uh-huh.
in the gym when I was playing basketball with Rob. Carol and I talk. We have a conversation face to face, eye to eye. She's incredible.
Okay.
Incredible.
And who knew you from Ross Elementary School?
It was Carol,
Oh.
Is Carol a child or an adult?
a child, and she
She was a student at Ross Elementary.
she was a student from Ross.
And she's a WWE or a wrestling fan.
Her sister was.
Okay. Got it. Cool.
And she remembered you.
So I did told Carol too. So I told Carol send a shout out. So Carol,
Here's your
hi,
shout out.
Hi, Carol.
hi,
Hi,
Carol.
Carol.
Shout out Carol.
There you go.
All right.
Great.
What after that, met Carol in the gym when I was playing basketball. Also, I saw her sister. Saw her sister as well. Big wrestling fan, just like me. She was under the stairs. Like before Rob and I walk up,
Was she hiding from you?
I don't think she's hiding from me, but walk over there. I saw her and Carol's sister, and she and I talked for the bed and talk about wrestling. What her favorite wrestler? Of course, her favorite wrestler was Roman,
Oh, bummer.
and that's okay. That's
So
okay.
you agreed to disagree with her?
I gotta disagree on that.
That's okay. Well, but I'm happy you made some friends. That sounds fun.
So Carol and Carol's sister, hi.
You're so sweet. Okay, so
Say hi to Carol.
oh, hi, Carol.
Hi, Carol.
Hi, Carol's sister.
Hi, Carol's sister.
Okay, we're gonna move on from that. And you told me that something really crazy happened to you the other day while you were at softball practice. It was a
Yep.
weather-related incident.
Yep.
Can you tell me what happened?
I saw something big, really big. I saw a lightning strike in the sky.
Wow.
When I was playing softball, I saw a lightning strike. It was so beautiful and perfect.
Really?
Like,
Okay, so
so cool.
for those of you who are listening and not watching, that was Derek making the shape of a lightning bolt with his finger. And that's what it looked like going through the sky.
Yeah.
Okay.
I saw it. That was so cool.
Yeah. They
Well,
are kind of cool to watch.
They are, as long as you're far enough away that they're not striking right next to you.
Oh, I love a storm.
Okay, well, I just want to real quick talk to you about our plans for SummerSlam this weekend.
Well, before you get to that, we got one softball topic, which is I did not told Mom yet.
Okay, well, I didn't know if we were going to talk about this, but I
Well,
guess we can try.
I
and-
want to talk about it.
Okay, let's see how it goes. Can I set the intro then?
Go ahead.
Okay. So a couple weeks ago at softball, you guys did hear us talk last week about Derek receiving some punishment from Dad. And
Yep.
he was receiving the punishment from Dad because of an incident that happened at softball.
Yep.
And we are going to leave names out of it, but you would like to say something about what you learned from this thing that happened? Okay.
Originally, we do tell a story because my mom has never heard of this in a sense of
Incident, but I did hear about it.
Okay.
I'm gonna
We'll just
first
tell it
one.
really quickly.
So, Mom, I understand you're just here. Now it's my turn to give you my side of the story.
There's always three sides: your side, my side, and the truth. But go ahead.
Okay. So a couple weeks ago, when I was playing softball, the other coach wants me to play second. I listened to my coach, go to second, play second, and nobody told me was there.
Whoa. Nobody told you somebody else was there.
No names.
That just slipped out. My bad.
We're going to need to bleep that, Ellis.
Nobody told me. he
There was
there.
another player there.
So what happened was there was two people who ended up thinking that they were both supposed to be playing second base.
Yeah.
I think
You-
probably told by different coaches or something
Yes,
like that.
I think there was a miscommunication amongst the coaches. 2 players ended up at second base. You both thought you were supposed to be playing second base. And what happened on second base?
I'm trying to get that ball. Right before that, the other player pushed me and shoved me. And I wasn't happy.
And okay, so
And from that, I did argue with the coach, and that was...
and from that you did argue with the coach.
Well, the coach name was...
Okay.
Shout out to you.
Yeah, well, Denny's going to learn how to make a bleep on this podcast.
Are you to just keep it in?
No. We're going to be bleeping these names. These are personal people we know in our lives that that did not consent to be talked about. So this is why I said maybe we didn't need to talk about this, buddy.
So last week...
Okay, so that happened 2 weeks ago. There was an incident. Maybe you didn't start it. There was some pushing. There was some shoving. And then you were upset. And you ended up having an inappropriate reaction. And you responded poorly to your coach. That's what I heard. So that was 2 weeks ago. Then last week you went back and you exchanged some more appropriate words with your coach. What did you say to your coach?
The other coach wants to forget about it. But I talked to about it. I told her what happened. Not other player pushed me and shoved me, and now is gonna put me on a different team.
Oh,
and that's coach. So that could be pretty fun.
I don't know.
Mom's got nothing. Okay. Thank you for sharing.
That is the whole story.
Okay.
Well, I think
I think you also apologized to the coach, right? For inappropriately.
Coach, yeah.
Oh boy. Okay. Yes. You apologized. You did not handle yourself the best, but you did try to recover. You did apologize. That was very respectful of you to do that. And I'm glad that you owned your mistakes and you took accountability for the actions that you did that were incorrect.
I'm proud of you, buddy.
And I did talk to a responsible adult, and that was...
Okay.
So shout out to Coach.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Coach.
Hi, bleep.
Yeah, well, I think it's probably okay to leave, but
Good.
the others need to be bleeped. Anyways, I want to tell you about, just because although the people listening to this haven't heard the weekly wrestling wrap up yet, we didn't really talk about our SummerSlam plans. So briefly, I just want to talk about our SummerSlam plans, and then we got to move on.
Let's talk about it.
So we are leaving Wednesday night. We are going to drive. We're going on a Baker family road trip.
I thought we're flying.
Well, this is our first time that we are driving to a WWE event. This is going to be a Baker family road trip kind of event. There will be no planes. There will be cars. We will have our dad the driver.
Of course.
You'll get a whole little back seat of a minivan.
Yeah, and we've got lots of hours in the car together. So we're going to leave Wednesday. We're going to wake up Thursday morning, and we're going to get to Detroit on Thursday. And on Thursday, we are going to go see our friends from Special Olympics.
Oh, yeah.
Jenna, I'm curious, what type of
Shout out to Special Olympics.
That event is from 3 to 5 p.m. on Thursday. And after that, we are going to, I don't know how many of us, but at least you for sure, and probably me and maybe Katie, are going to participate in a podcast with Special Olympics Michigan.
Dang.
Super cool.
So that's going to be really fun. And then Friday, we do have a free day. So we've talked about maybe doing a little exploring. We might go up into Canada, we talked about. So we'll see what happens there. We kind of have our own choices that we can make on Friday. Maybe we could go somewhere in the afternoon and kind of post up and like let people know that's where we'll be, so that if any of our Baker Banter friends want to come find us, we could try to see them Friday night. And then Saturday, we have the big event, SummerSlam 2023, Ford Field. We'll be there. Go Jey Uso.
Go Jey Uso.
Main event Jey Uso.
Yeah, and then we have to drive home all day. We got to drive on Sunday because your sis over there's got to be home first thing Monday morning so she can start that whole teaching career of hers.
Ain't that something?
That's awesome.
That's awesome. It's going to be a great weekend. And now we are going to talk about Down syndrome.
I think Down syndrome is pretty cool.
I think Down syndrome is pretty cool too. Before we start asking mom questions, I want to ask you, what is Down syndrome? What does that mean to you?
Down syndrome, wow.
Sorry, did I catch you off guard?
I told you did, but Down syndrome is really, really the biggest important.
It is important.
Speaking of Down syndrome, Mom, you have a kid named Derek Baker. Down syndrome,
Happens to be you.
which is that's me. How's it like? Got birth to Down syndrome kid Derek Baker.
Okay, before you answer that question, let me address something with you because this is something we've been working on with you. But Derek has struggled with this a little bit. But we practice people first language, Derek. So you are a kid with Down syndrome. You are not a Down syndrome kid.
I was going to correct him.
Okay, great. So I just wanted to specify that is something that we have tried to work on with you keep moving on. Okay, so Mom, take us back to the hospital room, take us back to 1997 and channel your inner, first time mom of a baby with Down syndrome. Did you know ahead of time? Did you know before Derek was born? Give us some details.
Before you answer that,
you guys are killing her with all these questions.
How does it feel to raise?
Okay, answer Derek's first.
Down syndrome.
Son with Down syndrome. Try that.
Derek, who has Down syndrome. It's been a blessing. It's been a blessing. But to be honest with you, I didn't realize that up front. So don't be offended, but it was scary. So honestly, Derek was my easiest delivery. He took about half as much time as you.
That's because he was so big.
Well, he was my biggest baby. You were my biggest baby.
Slid right out.
Well, he didn't slide right out. I mean, it was hours, but you were like 12, 13, 14 hours. He was 6 or 7. And then there's Katie. That's a whole nother story.
48.
Yeah. So, no, I did not know that Derek was going to have Down syndrome. When we had an ultrasound done while I was pregnant with Derek, the doctor did mention that his leg bone was kind of shorter than he thought it should be based on how pregnant I thought I was. But he never mentioned Down syndrome. He mentioned some other things, but he never mentioned Down syndrome. So it never even crossed my mind. I do have a cousin with Down syndrome. Perhaps I should have thought of it, but who knows? So anyway, Derek was born. He was beautiful. He was my biggest baby. He was 8 pounds and 8 pounds and 1 ounce. So he's my biggest baby. And I went into labor at like 4 a.m, which your dad said I was going to, and I did. I worked the day before.
Did you have a full, was he like 40 weeks?
No, I was due around the 23rd, and he was born on the 7th.
He was born on the 8th.
He was born on the 8th.
You said
That's the 7th is my dad's birthday. Sorry about that. So anyway,
R.I.P.
On the 7th you worked. On the 8th you gave birth.
Yeah, the 7th I worked, and the 8th I gave birth. So no, I did not know that Derek was going to have Down syndrome, but he was born and things were fine initially. Nothing was said. He cried. He did the things. He didn't open his eyes. And then finally your dad left. He left. I mean, he left. It sounds so bad. He left to go home and take a shower. Like we'd been there all night, right? He's like, you take a nap. The baby's napping. And when he left me in the room with Derek kind of started turning blue. And I didn't really like the way he looked. And I called the nurse and said, "Oh my God, what's wrong with my baby?"
At this point, you still didn't know Derek had Down syndrome.
No idea.
Wow.
So dad leaves. He starts looking like he's modeling, right? He's not getting good air, right? That's what it was about. He wasn't getting good air. And so they came in and they took him into the I guess the NICU before you leave the hospital. So they take him into the NICU and I call your dad. And of course I'm a, freaking mess crying, whatever. And then all these people kind of start coming in and asking questions. And I'm like, what the heck's going on? And somebody finally said that they wanted to do a genetics test, that they thought perhaps he had Down syndrome and that there was, some different markers associated with that they felt like Derek had. And so I'm calling your dad, whatever, losing my mind. And like I said, initially it was pretty freaking scary. That night, Dad came back, obviously. And then he left to go home and go to bed. And that night, Derek finally opened his eyes. and it could have been the next night, but the first time Derek opened his eyes, I knew he had Down syndrome because he has these beautiful eyes, and I knew that those were the eyes of a person with Down syndrome. And I called your dad and told him that, and he goes, "You're just seeing it because they're telling you that." And I'm like, "No, I'm seeing it because it's there." And again, I have a cousin with Down syndrome, and although I didn't get to know her as well as I would have if she lived down the street. She lives in New Hampshire, but Down syndrome has been a part of my life since I was like 12 or 13 years old when she was born. So the next day, we did get the genetics test completed, although I already knew in my heart that Derek had Down syndrome. And then because of that diagnosis, I think we finally found out when he was like 5 days old for sure. Because of that diagnosis, they did a heart scan, a echocardiogram, because there's a lot of instances of babies with Down syndrome that have heart issues. So they did the echocardiogram, and they said that there was a valve in his heart. When you're in utero, the valves remain open and mom's blood swirls through the baby's heart. And as soon as the baby is born, those are supposed to close. And Derek's went like this. And initially, they were just going to watch it for a while. Dad left. I get a call from the doctor. And they said, "Oh, we found a baby in like Denmark or something that had the similar situation, and it busted open and the baby died. So we're going to do heart surgery." And I'm like, "Oh my God, they're going to do heart surgery." So he was 2 weeks old.
So at this point, had you gone home?
I went home.
Well, had Derek gone home?
Derek stayed behind a couple days, but yeah, he was home for maybe a week. And then we were at Children's Hospital.
Right.
And he had heart surgery. So he was 2 weeks old. They said it was, not a big deal. But I mean, your baby's getting heart surgery. It was a big deal
to you.
And they went in and they just basically clamped it off. Like they pinched it together, clamped it off. He had this tiny little scar on his back that's now like this big because it grew with him. And while we were in the hospital...
Still have to have all these years.
You do. While we were in the hospital, we were there the first time for about a week, and then we came home for a few days. He had some breathing issues. He came home on oxygen. He was the sweetest baby. I mean, the cutest freaking baby. I mean, unbelievably cute baby.
Well, sounds like a pretty sexy baby.
Well, I didn't say sexy, but anyway.
Sure.
And then he got an infection in the incision where the surgery had taken place, and we went back in the hospital. So we were basically in the hospital for his first month and a half of life. We were in the hospital for about a month. And the second time we went back in, so one of the characteristics of people with Down syndrome is very small nasal passages, which is why Derek is so loud when he eats, because he just has a tiny nasal passage. It's not the same as the rest of ours.
I am a pretty good eater.
I didn't say you didn't eat well. I just said you were kind of loud.
Loud.
Because you can hear you breathing. Yeah. That's kind of it. Anyway, so
No way, Katie, that was so good.
I was planning to take my headphones out till she's done.
I'm done.
No.
Good.
Okay. So tiny nasal passages. He got a little bit of a cold while we were in the hospital. He was all blocked up, and I kept telling the nurse. Of course, Dad was at the hospital. Dad leaves. I mean, literally every time Dad left, shit hit the fan.
You shouldn't have kept letting him go.
I know. I'm like, you can't leave me. So
Where was I?
you were being cared for by
Grandma's
and Aunt Dana, basically.
Yeah.
But there was two things that happened
You were on the
before
street.
So Derek was born at St.
Makes
Luke's. There was two things. Two things were said. There was a lot of stupid shit that was said to us after we found out Derek had Down syndrome. And so there's not enough time for that. But there was two things that were said to me by your Aunt Vicky and your dad after we found out, like right after Vicky came in from Kansas City. And Vicky said to me, and I will never forget this as long as I live, she said, "Val, I don't know what to do to fix your broken heart, but I know that little boy." will mend your heart. And my heart has not been broken for years, but it was initially. And he did fix my every time I say it, I lose my anyway. He did mend my broken heart. My heart is no longer broken. I know God does things for a reason, and we are who we are because he is who he is, and we're better because of him, and so I wouldn't change it. I'm not telling people that they ought to necessarily wish for it. I'm just saying that Derek is beautifully and wonderfully made, and he was beautifully and wonderfully a part of our family, and my sister was so right. And then the other thing your dad said that I've always carried with me, and this rings so incredibly true today. He said, man, I can't wait till this kid grows up because he's going to be pretty freaking awesome. And look at him. I mean, you are so freaking awesome.
I am. I am pretty awesome guy.
Yeah.
You are awesome. Although you said you didn't want to, it would take a long time potentially. I do want you to touch on some of the things
Before
that
you finish that sentence, Jenna, I just want to say what you said to me. That was really beautiful. I really, really love that. Maybe after this
I'm a mess.
awesome podcast,
you'll give her a hug.
I will give you the biggest hug.
Oh,
I appreciate that. And you have always given the best hugs. Yeah. So some people said dumb things, and not because they were trying to be mean, but just because they didn't. I mean, I think 1 out of like 700 births in the United States at one point was a person with Down syndrome. So it's not that prevalent. It is the most common cause of developmental delays in people, but it's not that uncommon, but it's really not that common. And so people don't know what to say. One of your aunts was like, do I even say congratulations? Do I get him a baby gift? Like, yeah.
it's still a baby that needs
still a
clothes.
baby. Like, he's still my son. I still love him. And you still celebrate the fact that your friend, your sister-in-law, your cousin, your whoever, your daughter has had a child. It's just going to be a little bit different of a journey. And that reminds me of something else. There's a poem out there. It's called Welcome to Holland. And I think her name is Emily. And I should have looked that up. But
Denny, can you look up this poem for
Yeah,
her real
Welcome
quick
to
while she says that?
Holland. So basically, it's about a family who is, it's likening, this pregnancy and this birth to a family who is going to Italy, and they've planned this trip to Italy, and they've read the books, and they've learned how to speak Italian, and they've done all these things, and they know where they're going to go once they get to Italy and all the things they're going to see and do. And they get on the airplane and they go to their vacation, and they get off in Holland. And it's not Italy, but it's not a horrible place, right? Holland's beautiful. It's got all the tulips, and it's maybe a little slower paced and that sort of thing. But it's still beautiful. It's just different.
I think Denny might have an answer for you over there.
Oh, there we go.
Denny
likes
says Holland
better.
takes the cake. What's the author's name, Denny?
Yeah.
Emily Pearl Kingsley.
Yeah. Anyway, it's beautiful. So the point is, you still celebrate the birth of a baby, right? So some of the things that were said, we had somebody tell us that they had their sister-in-law or somebody was a disabled person, and all she does is burp and fart, but she's the glue that holds the family together.
Oh, well, Derek does do those things.
Yeah, but yeah.
That's accurate.
Yeah. And then somebody else told me, oh, I hear those Down syndromes, they live to be at least 20. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So
Well,
first
you
of
lived
all,
past 20, babe.
Yeah.
Congrats.
Yeah. And he's not a Down syndrome. But again, that's that people first language
He's
thing.
a man.
Yeah.
A manly man.
So anyway,
A manly man doing a many man things.
He's a manly man doing manly man things. You're funny, bro.
so back to the hospital. Dad leaves. I know this is a long trip to
That's
get there,
okay.
but back to the hospital. Dad leaves. And he wasn't breathing well. And I walked out to the nurse's station because I pretty much lived at the hospital with him. When he was there, I slept there every single night. And I went out to the nurse's station and said, I don't really like the sounds of his breaths. It seems like he's struggling. Can you come do the suction thing, and suck out his nose or whatever and help him breathe? Yeah, we'll be in. And then
Was this the first?
I think this was
Or
the
this was
second
like when you
time.
came back?
That's when we came back.
Okay.
Yeah.
So was this before or after the heart surgery?
It was after the surgery.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
And so then I went back out there a second time and I'm like, really, come see him. Just make sure we're okay. Yeah, Val, we'll get there. They know me by name, right? I'm living there with this child. And then he really starts struggling to breathe. And I lose my shit. My patience was ended.
Mama Bear came out.
And I swung the door. It's probably 10 o'clock at night. The only people in there are children under care and their caregivers who are with them, and then the nurses, typically. But I swing the door open and I say, I don't like how he's breathing, and somebody better get in here now.
Did you curse?
I might have.
I bet there was a curse in there.
Just so happens that the cardiologist that was following him was right outside the door with some nursing students or doctor students, physician students, I would assume. And she runs in. I mean, I was frantic, right? She runs in and it was so bad. She got those little paddle things out and had to do that on your brother. And he was less than a month old.
Do you know what she's talking about? Those paddle things?
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
That's kind of scary.
That is scary.
It's very scary for me.
Yeah.
Mom has been your biggest advocate since the day you blessed this earth with your presence.
I think my mom is my Paul Heyman now.
Oh, your mom is more than your Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman is a cockroach, okay?
Just call me a cockroach.
She is an advocate, but she is
My mom is way better a version of Paul Heyman.
oh,
you.
way
You're
way
my
better.
Paul Heyman.
Mom is
Thank you.
not a cockroach. Let's just get this clear.
Thank you. So anyway, obviously they, got his
He made
whatever was going.
He made
They
it.
fixed it, right? But, I honestly think in looking back, and I would have told you this when he was 3 years old. I mean, it was hard when we got the diagnosis. And I think that, God puts you in places that you need to be in to prepare you to do the things you need to do. And I think that me having to be in the hospital with him and fight for his safety, if you will, it pulled me in.
My song. This is my life song.
Take back my life song.
Nobody cares. Nobody knows. Believe. I still got fight left in me.
You did. You had fight left in you, and I knew that, right? But I just think that I was put in the position that he had to have surgery. He had to be in the hospital. He had to go through these struggles because I needed to figure out how to step up and be his mom and say, okay, God, he has Down syndrome. I don't give a shit. This is my child. I love him, and I will do whatever I have to do to make sure that he is okay. And not too long after that, when we came home the final time, speaking of Special Olympics, there was a episode, if you will, on the news about Special Olympics. And they were doing this story on Eunice Kennedy, who founded Special Olympics. And they were showing people with Down syndrome. And in the years before, he was born in 1997. I mean, my cousin was born in 78, I think, close to around there. She didn't even go to school until she was 7 or 8 years old, right? Derek, 20-ish years later, was in therapy at 2 months old. And I mean, like occupational and physical therapy, right? But you need to hold on. There was a moment, I'm watching this thing about Special Olympics, and there was a young man with Down syndrome who was on the TV, and there was nothing there. Like, it was a blank stare. And one of the characteristics of people with Down syndrome, they have low muscle tone, which means it's harder for them to walk upstairs. It's harder for them to tie their shoes. It's harder for them to brush their teeth, right? But it also often, because of the low muscle tone, they'll droop their mouth and their tongue will hang out. Derek never did that. And one reason might have been because I always did that when he was little. Like if he started to do that, I'm like, we're not doing that.
Oh.
Yeah. But anyway, so here's this young man on this, TV program, this news. What do you call those segments? Whatever. The little.
It's just a segment, probably. Yeah.
So he's
News
there.
story.
This kid, he obviously had Down syndrome. His tongue was hanging out. He's sitting there on the floor in a pair of shorts, no shirt on. There's no sparkle in his eye. And it's just like, I just threw my hands in the air and said, okay, God, like I'm in. Like this baby, Derek had the most, and this is nothing. I mean, you two are both beautiful.
No offense will be taken.
Has nothing to do with you. But Derek was just this precious little baby who had the sparkliest eyes and the sweetest smile. Just melt your heart kind of baby look. And I said, God, you got me. Like I'm in 100%, whatever it takes. I know it's going to be different, but this child will never lose the sparkle in his eyes. And so my job as a mom is just to continue to help him shine. And
look how
look at
freaking
it
far
now.
you've come.
I know, it's amazing. So,
You're amazing.
ah,
Thank you for sharing.
yeah.
I appreciate you.
I think you are a Wonder Woman.
She is a Wonder Woman.
You're sweet.
Best mom ever.
You are a Wonder Woman. You suffered a lot during that.
It was
It
a
was-
hard time on her, wasn't it?
It was hard. It was hard. And here's one of the reasons it was hard. So if you're a medical provider out there, don't tell, a new mom who's just got the diagnosis of Down syndrome, all the things that her child isn't going to do. He's not going to drive. And this is what they told me. He's not going to drive. He may not walk. He may not talk. You might have to feed him for the rest of his life. All these things.
Ain't nobody feeding Derek.
Well,
He can feed himself.
He's good at that.
yeah, I have to cut him off. But, they don't tell you about all of the joys of having a child with Down syndrome.
He's going to cut, 2 minutes off of his time and swim in high
Oh
school?
my gosh. It was 1 minute.
1 minute.
But I mean, we celebrated all of the, he didn't walk till he was 2. So yeah, it was delayed, but he walked.
He's going to be the center of attention in every room he walks into. Your daughters are going to be known as Derek's sisters.
Yeah. It's
You're going to be
amazing.
Derek's mom.
I for sure.
I think I'm the oldest baby before Kate.
You
Well-
are older than Katie,
But I was here first.
but Jenna was 3.5 when you were born.
But even when as soon as you were born, I was only Jenna. I was only Derek's sister.
And
And I've been Derek's sister ever since. I was only Jenna for 3 years.
now
3.5.
3.5.
when you and I met, it's been really cool.
It has been really cool. I love you.
Derek, do you remember when you met Jenna?
I don't think I remember it, Derek. I'll be honest.
Question is for you, Jen. Also a question for Mom. So, Mom, did you put me on Jenna's arms?
Yeah, when she
When I
was
was a kid?
she was about 3.5 years old, we made her sit on the couch so that she didn't drop you on your head, which is what anybody would do with any 3.5-year-old and any baby.
Well, thank goodness for that.
And yeah.
So I think the next time we have this conversation, because we do have to wrap up this conversation about Down syndrome today, but I think that there are many, many versions of this story that we can tell. And I think that our audience will be really grateful to hear your long form conversation of vulnerability. And I really appreciate you sharing. But I think maybe next time where we should start off is starting off with, how did you tell me? And how was how did you start that conversation? Was it ever a conversation, or was it just something that you just told me and I was just okay with because I was 3? I think we kind of start from there and talk about what that looked like as far as a sibling already being around. And then from there, we went into therapy very quickly at the Bell Center. And I was there every week too. I remember going to those Bell Center meetings with you. And as Derek was just cute little baby. He really did have the most, oh my God, Dirk. I have this thing where I feel a little creepy when I see other babies with Down syndrome because I'm like a hawk. Like if there is a baby with Down syndrome in my presence, you better believe I know it. And sometimes Chris has to tell me, like, you're staring at that child with Down syndrome, you need to calm down.
You need
Because
to calm down.
I
So cute.
just think they're so freaking cute because you were so freaking cute. But I think Katie has one more thing she'd
Yeah,
like to say.
I was just going to say, if you guys have any questions for us, or especially for like on this whole perspective of like raising a child with Down syndrome or that kind of stuff, DM Baker's Bantering on Instagram if you have any questions for the podcast, and we will do our best to get to your questions. So
Yeah.
I think that would probably be the best avenue for you to take to ask those questions, and especially the questions about, you know, new parents of a child with Down syndrome, or just if you're curious about anything like that, please shoot us a DM on Baker's Bantering on Instagram.
Yeah.
And can I just say one more thing?
Yes, please.
Even though my boy is yawning over there. For any of you who are out there and you're a new parent of a child with Down syndrome, just know
You've got this. You
Wow.
can do it.
this is not the end of your life.
It's only the beginning.
It's just different than what you imagined. And
It's going to be beautiful.
it's going to be amazing. So,
It's just
and I just think it's so cool that we're here sharing this with you, because I didn't have anybody on TikTok or, you know, YouTube or whatever to look at and say, I'm going to be okay. But just know that you're going to be okay. Sorry.
Oh my God, Mom. Jeez. Well, thank you so much, Mom. I really appreciate you being open and being authentic and vulnerable and all the things. I think this was an absolutely beautiful way to start
I
having more conversations
I do have a
about the
question.
disability
It's
community.
for both of you.
Okay, well, this is going to be the last question because we got to move on to the weekly wrestling wrap up.
Cool. When I was a baby, do you put me in just arms and
Yes.
How do you feel like holding your baby brother?
Well,
She loved you.
I think Mom might have a better answer than me because, to be honest, I don't think I remember the first time I ever held you because I was 3.5. But I do know that I was obsessed with you. And
Me too.
I was obsessed with Katie when she
Well,
was
you
born
did not hold
too.
me.
No. She was obsessed with me too. As
I was obsessed with both of
I was
my
her
little
baby
siblings.
doll because she was like 7.5 when I was born.
I've always had, like, I feel like I've always loved babies because I was an older sister, and I was such an older sister that I was 3.5 when you were born, and then I was 7.5 when Katie was born. So I was an old enough sister that I was able to hold both of you, and I've just loved babies. And I've been, you know, I just love babies because I got to hold two as a little kid, and I just loved it. But I know I loved you. And
Yes.
She was the best big sister ever, truly. She was so kind to you. She loved you so much. And she, you know, I was gone for a long time because I was in the hospital with you. And so honestly, you knew right from the start things were a little different.
Yeah.
But she loved you so much from day one. And she, I think, proves that every single day.
She does. Well, this was an awesome conversation, and I think it's time to talk about wrestling.
Welcome back to the weekly wrestling wrap up. Wow, we just really took a turn there.
And I sound like Montez Ford.
Oh, you sounded like Montez Ford, did you?
Yes, I did. Yeah.
Okay, well, we do have a lot to talk about, but before we get into the SummerSlam conversation, let's talk about AEW. We just have one quick topic I want to ask you about. You told me something about Collision and Adam Cole and MJF. Tell me more.
Adam Cole and MJF lost a devastating match on Saturday. That was AEW World Tag Team Championships. Devastating loss for them. So I'm really pretty upset about that.
Who beat them?
It was FTR.
Who's FTR? Is that a tag team?
That's a tag team. Used to be the Revival in WWE, but now go by FTR.
Is that FT like Thomas R?
No, it's just FTR.
Oh, but is it the letter T?
It's FTR.
Okay.
Okay, so like 3 letters.
It's 3 letters.
Okay, so it is T like Thomas.
Yeah.
Okay. We're just making sure. So you were upset that Adam Cole and MJF lost.
I was pretty upset. And MJF thinks he blew it.
Why does he think he blew it?
Because he did or no?
He said he was saying, I blew it. And Cole was there trying to calm him down. And when I saw Adam Cole turn around like MJF attack him, but MJF did not attack Adam Cole.
Well, they're partners, right?
That is true. They are partners. You know
Do
what?
you think MJF blew it?
To me, if I'm MJF, well, yeah.
Oh,
I don't think he blew it, but he's trying his best.
Well, sometimes we fall short.
that's okay.
That's that, and I don't think I blew it. In fact, I never competed in a match.
Well, I don't think you blew it either. I think maybe MJF might have blown it.
MJF, way different. MJF, if you watching, we are so sorry what happened during that match. I don't think you blew it.
It just wasn't his day.
Wasn't your day.
Okay.
Wasn't your day. And speaking of that, when MJF tried to attack Cole, he didn't. He didn't attack Adam Cole.
Well, that's a good thing he didn't attack Adam Cole. Isn't Adam Cole his tag team partner?
Yeah.
Well, why
is
would he
true.
attack him?
Attack his partner. But MJF don't want to attack Adam Cole. Adam Cole wants MJF to attack him.
Adam Cole was provoking MJF and telling him to attack him, even though they're tag team partners.
Even though they're tag team partners. But MJF did not attack him. He threw his championship on the floor, and then really beautiful just happened.
What was the beautiful thing?
When Adam Cole turns around
Did they hug it out?
and they hug.
I knew
Adam
it.
Cole, MJF hug it out.
Oh, that's the best. That's your favorite kind of wrestling ending, isn't it?
That is a beautiful moment. Beautiful moment.
Okay, we're moving on. By the time this episode comes out, it will be next Monday, which means it will be after SummerSlam. But that's okay. We are still going to talk about SummerSlam. We are going to talk about our predictions for SummerSlam. And I don't want you to get mad about this, but I do need to bring up something that we talked about on TikTok Live the other day, because I think that our friend on TikTok Live, Anthony, has a really good point. So, Denny, get this. There was a lot of rumors that The Rock was going to show up at...
The Rock? Dwayne The Rock Johnson?
Yes.
The Rock.
My mom loves him.
Yeah. Dwayne The Rock Johnson. There was a lot of rumors that he was going to show up at Royal Rumble. He didn't show. He didn't show up at Royal Rumble. But we were on TikTok Live.
Maybe he's scared.
Maybe he was
He's
scared.
scared of me.
I don't think it's you, honey.
No, he's scared of me.
He's definitely scared of you. It's for sure you.
Good.
But we were on TikTok Live last week.
I remember that the Rock email.
Oh,
I watch.
yeah. When you said that you got an email from The Rock.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have quite the imagination, my guy. So,
scared of.
So last week we were on TikTok Live, and our friend on TikTok Live, Anthony, they were talking about The Rock showing up in Detroit. And Derek was very adamant that that was not going to happen. But
He's not going to show it again.
But listen, Anthony said because of the writer's strike and the actor's strike in Hollywood, The Rock is not doing actorial work right now.
Is that a word?
I don't know.
Actorial?
I think so. I made it
don't
up.
think so.
It sounded good, didn't it?
He's checking for us.
He's not doing work as an actor. So I feel like there is actually a pretty good chance that he might be at SummerSlam.
I would freak.
He's not going to show up.
Okay. You might be right.
Busy.
You might be right, but I would be so excited. I'm a huge fan. I loved him in Jumanji. Unbelievable. Loved him. Loved him. And the tooth, was it the tooth
Fairy, yeah.
Or, and then the other one when he had the little daughter.
Was that not the Tooth Fairy?
No, it was the football one. I can't remember what it was called, but I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. I love him. He's
She was
so
the girl
fun.
from what? Corey in the House, too?
Yeah, maybe.
I'm bringing up all these childhood memories that I can't think of now.
Corey in the House is a pretty good one.
Yeah.
I mean, use Disney game.
The game plan.
The game plan.
Oh,
Sounds about right.
look at you two.
Good work, partner.
That was awesome.
Don't turn on me.
That was from 2007. Wow.
So I just had to give Anthony a shout out here because that was such a valid point and it could happen. And we haven't seen The Rock yet. We've seen John Cena.
Which was cool.
Very, very cool.
John Cena is my favorite.
Actually, I don't know if we did see him.
Ha.
You know, the
saw
other,
them.
we saw the Bella twins, which I know are now the Garcia twins, but that was epic. I mean, seeing some of these big names come back at these big
Money in the
events,
Bank.
So cool.
so fun. So I am 100% on board to see The Rock. So I hope he shows up.
My
It's not
first
a good show.
Okay.
My first WWE event ever was Nikki and Brie Bella's last WWE event ever. I think that is accurate.
Unless they choose to come back.
Unless they choose to come back. But now that
Speaking
they've
of which-
rebranded themselves, I think that it's unlikely that they will come back as the Bellas.
Speaking of which, I did saw a match between Brie Bella versus Nikki Bella, Hell in a Cell, 2014.
Of course you did. You watch everything.
They were having beef.
Sometimes
very long.
siblings have beef.
Yeah, sometimes they do.
And Nikki thinks she's a victim because Brie Bella, being honest, Brie is the one that's getting attacked. She's the one that's getting a victim. Why Nikki blame her sister like that?
Okay, either way, we're going to move on from 2014. So,
That's just stupid.
we were at Checo's Friday night, and you had your
Yep.
headphones on, and you were watching Friday Night SmackDown,
Now you're shrimp.
and you gasped, and you said something happened to Rey Mysterio. And I told you to wait for the podcast to tell me. So now is the time. Please enlighten us. What has happened to our guy Rey?
Well, do you remember I'm loyal to my friend?
I think you're loyal to your friends. You weren't very loyal to Dom last week, but we'll move on from that.
Well, Dominic is a big rat cheater.
Oh.
If you saw the
He's
From-
also a great friend.
Sam,
I
Yeah,
just want to
talking
make
to
sure
her.
everybody heard that. He said big rat cheater. Is that what you said?
I have no idea.
Okay.
That's what I
But
heard,
anyway.
Mom.
Like New York-sized rat cheating. That's bad.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Anyway, for Ray, I am loyal to Ray because he is one of my favorites when I was growing up. Rey Mysterio is a legend on SmackDown. Something bad happened to Ray.
What
Are you going
happened?
to tell us? The suspense.
I know. Come on. Tell me. Is he okay? Are we going to see him in Detroit?
I've waited 3 weekends at this point.
Santos did have
Or I
Rey
waited
Mysterio
3
versus
days.
Santos
Escobar.
Escobar. And when Santos doing that fly to hit Ray with it, and Ray hit really, really hard. And I was really worried what's going on there. And I found out he's not able to continue the match.
Oh, so he got hit with some flying move. Now, was Escobar his partner a couple weeks back?
Yeah, I thought they were in the LWO together.
They are.
Okay.
Oh.
So they went up against each other, and the other guy's bigger, and he hit like a flying body slam on him or something.
Probably.
So did Ray have to tap out, or did he just like leave the match?
Here's the results. Santos fly to hit Ray. After commercial break, Ray is still down, not able to compete. And the results are Rey Mysterio not able to compete in the match.
So did he?
And the winner was Santos Escobar.
So Ray like forfeited essentially.
No, he did not forfeit.
Oh, okay. Bad word choice.
He did not forfeit, but
Did he tap out?
he did not tap out. He did not forfeit.
Did Santos Escobar?
Disqualified by injury.
Did he get a 3 tap?
No.
Oh,
Just listen, okay? Just listen.
well, I am listening, but I still don't understand.
Rey Mysterio not able to continue to compete.
Got it.
But Santos Escobar gets the win.
And Santos Escobar gets the win.
But he didn't tap out, and he didn't get a 3 count.
No. Ray was done.
So it's
Was he-
some other thing that I've never seen
He
in
was-
wrestling before.
So injured.
What part of his body was hurt?
I don't know. Hey, Danny, can you look up Rey Mysterio?
I have a question. How did he get out of the ring, Ray? Or is he still in the ring?
Oh.
Wherever they were.
By the help of the referee.
Did he walk out like with his own legs or was he carried out?
Carry out.
So he
Really?
didn't use his legs at all to help him walk,
No.
So 2
But-
referees carried him.
but not a stretcher.
There was a stretcher involved.
Oh, there was a stretcher.
So he got put
involved.
on a stretcher.
Was
Yeah.
there an ambulance?
Hey, Danny, can you look up Rey Mysterio's condition?
I've got it right here. It says Rey Mysterio versus Santos Escobar. It ended earlier than expected as Mysterio was injured. WWE's medical staff checked on Mysterio before the referee called off the match and Escobar was declared the winner. David Meltzer noted on Wrestling Observer Radio that Mysterio was knocked silly before the dive, but he was told that Mysterio was fine. The injury actually happened when Escobar hit him with a plancha. The outside dive was done to cover for the injury. I don't know. I'm not seeing the...
So maybe he's not
Actual
still
injury
injured,
update.
but he was in the moment.
Yeah, definitely.
And Escobar got the win. So you were right about everything.
And when I saw, I was getting really worried.
Yeah, well, it's your friend.
We love Ray.
Mm-hmm.
We love you, Ray.
We do
still
love Ray.
you.
We hope you feel better soon. We hope we see you at SummerSlam.
Yeah. Ray, if you're watching this, I am so sorry what happened on SmackDown. It was a brutal match. You got beat up real bad during that match. We're all thinking of you. We love you, Rey Mysterio. You're an awesome dad to Liam Mysterio.
Oh, well, speaking of him being an awesome dad, did Dominic win yesterday at the Great American Bash?
Mm-hmm.
He did.
Hey, Ray,
Mhm.
your daughter's my favorite now.
But he still wants to, you still want to fight Aaliyah this weekend. But she's your favorite. Just clarifying here.
Liam Mysterio is my favorite right now because Liam Mysterio is my sister.
Because Dom is the new NXT North American champion, and you're not happy about this. Am I getting all these correct?
Yep.
Okay, so what happened
coward.
yesterday? Can you tell me about Dom's match yesterday at the NXT Great American Bash?
Well, Wesley did provoke Rhea Ripley. She said, "No, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it." When Rhea looked at Dom, and Wes took a dive to take down Dom, and Rhea's face was really priceless.
It was priceless, Rhea's face.
Take that, you little Morgan Smasher!
No idea.
I didn't catch that either.
Liv
that.
Morgan.
Liv
Oh.
Morgan Smasher.
Yes.
Got it.
Understood. Thank you for clarifying. So Dom did win yesterday.
Bullshit moment.
I saw a video of Dom on Instagram that was basically he was saying something along the lines of, you guys were all talking shit like I didn't come up through NXT. Well, I went back to NXT to prove that I can make it, and now I'm just beating all of you. Something like that.
Go, Dom.
Well,
He is pretty
he's
badass.
lying. Liar. He's a liar.
He's a pretty badass liar.
Call it whatever you want. He's a liar.
Okay, but at the end of the day, we do.
Leah Mysterio is my favorite now.
That's fine, but we.
Leah, I love you. I do not love your brother.
Okay, well, we do love you, Dom. We love you, Dom.
She said love you, Dom. I said I love Leah
Okay, well,
because you're my sister. In fact, you're my favorite because this was talking trash about Dominic.
I'm not talking trash about Dominic. I'm
you
pretty sure
are.
you are. I'm
You don't want to turn on me.
I'm
on him.
sticking up for Dom. It's okay that Dom's a bad guy, Derek.
Leah, you're my favorite because I don't know my sister now.
Okay,
Okay,
is
let's
too
move
much.
on.
We're moving on. So, I heard that Roman and Solo attacked Jey Uso. Can you tell me more?
Yep, bullshit right there.
Oh man, we have just a bullshit left and right today. Well, what happened? Will you tell me what happened? Was this at SmackDown?
Yes, it is on SmackDown. Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa do the smallest bucket and a spear at the same time on Jay.
That sounds like it hurt.
Does that mean they kicked him in the head?
Nope.
Oh.
Roman, you're an idiot. And at SummerSlam, that's done. You will lose.
Your reign is over.
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 All right. Well, I hope Jey Uso's doing okay. I have a feeling we'll still see him this weekend as planned. But although this episode is going to come out after SummerSlam, let's run it back. And real quick, we're going to run through our SummerSlam predictions. Okay. And by we, I mean, I'm going to say who's fighting and you're going to tell me who you want to win. And if Mom
Good.
and I disagree, we can
Let you know.
say what we want to say. So I've got the SummerSlam match card here in front of me. First match, Logan Paul Ricochet. Who do we got?
Loki Paul.
And Ricochet. Denny, you like him?
Derek, I just found out today that his name is Ricochet, like one word. I thought it was Rick O'Shea, like he was Irish or something.
Irish.
I'm learning more every day.
Don't worry, Denny. We've got 3 years of wrestling on you. So
We'll give you a pass.
yeah, I think you'll catch up in no time.
It's
Appreciate
not
that.
Rick
Thank you.
O'Shea. It's Ricochet.
Ricochet.
Okay.
Ricochet.
Moving on.
It
Moving
makes
on.
sense for wrestling.
We
Like, when you hit
are-
something, it bounces off and all that.
Oh, he does too. He's very acrobatic.
Oh, I
Yes.
love that.
We are all in unison here. We are all Team Logan Paul. We're
Sure.
okay with that? Sure. Okay. Ronda Rousey versus Shayna Baszler.
Oh, I didn't know they were going up against each other.
Well, Shayna turned on Ronda.
They're not friends anymore.
When did that happen? Extreme Rules?
Money in the Bank.
Money in the Bank. That's what I meant.
Who you got?
I'm sure it's Ronda Rousey.
I'm in on that.
I'm in.
Your eyes, Ronda.
The baddest woman on the planet. I'm not putting money on
Rousey.
anybody other than her. Yeah.
Rousey.
Yeah, definitely. We're all Team Ronda. Okay.
Just let you know, Shotzi Blackheart is still hunting Bailey.
Okay.
Okay.
So we have Brock Lesnar versus Cody Rhodes.
Cody freaking Rhodes.
The
Cody.
The American Nightmare.
Cody Rhodes.
100% Team Cody.
That's our guy.
That's right.
We are definitely Team Cody. Okay, then we have the SummerSlam Battle Royal. Sheamus, LA Knight, and TBD. So we don't know who the last person is in this one. Is it?
Maybe Drew.
Well, Drew's in a different match at SummerSlam, so I don't
Oh.
think it's going to be Drew. But what are our thoughts here? Who do we think the last person's going to be, and who do we want to win?
I don't know. But we'll find out.
Yeah, we don't really have any strong feelings towards this one. Although you do typically say that LA Knight is a
You mean L.A. Coward Night.
yes.
There you go.
I do. I was looking for the word coward.
Do you know I saw Sheamus on a CSI Los Angeles?
Like an episode.
Yeah, an episode.
wow.
He was acting as a.
Was he acting like a wrestler?
It was more of a street fighter kind of
Oh.
thing, and he was also like a mob boss almost.
Oh, interesting.
Oh yeah. Speaking of that, I just saw that clip during that event in Austin, Texas. Rexy Perez and Belair Davenport was throwing hands, and they got break up.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Okay, but I'm gonna pick Sheamus on that one.
Okay, I'm down for Sheamus. That works for me. I don't think we have any real strong feelings about this one, to be honest.
I think he's funny.
Then we have the Intercontinental Championship with Gunther versus Drew McIntyre.
Yep.
Drew.
Team Drew.
I'm Team Drew, and my money is on Gunther though.
That's absurd. I don't blame you for choosing Gunther and you're putting your money on Gunther because for whatever reason, WWE really likes to let that man win. But why do they let him win so much? There's nothing like I understand why they let Roman win so much. Like Roman is a badass. Roman creates the controversy. Like I get that. Gunther is the most irrelevant heel that I think exists.
Yeah.
I don't understand
It's
why
time
they
for
let him
Drew to take him down.
Yeah, I think Drew can do it. Team Drew McIntyre all the
Whoever
way.
wins, Drew or Gunther, I will definitely face one of those men at next year's Elimination Chamber.
Absolutely. That's a Derek prediction right there if I've ever heard one. So, women's championship. We have Asuka, Becky Lynch,
And Bianca Belair.
and Charlotte Flair is what my match card says.
And Bianca.
I don't see Bianca on here, but if you say so, is this your prediction for this match that Bianca will join?
It's already a triple threat.
Well, I see 3 people. Asuka, Becky Lynch, and Charlotte Flair. I don't see Bianca on this list.
Let me see that.
This would probably be our first WWE big event without Bianca if she doesn't compete.
That doesn't mean she's not going to show up, though.
I know, I completely agree, but I think for the most part, like we've seen Bianca compete at almost every time we've gone to one of these big events. Okay, come on, buddy, we got to move on. Look, it says Women's Championship, Asuka, Becky Lynch, and Charlotte Flair. That's all it says. Is that your prediction that Bianca's
Becky
gonna?
Lynch is not in the match.
Okay.
Oh, okay. So you think that
It's Asuka versus Charlotte Flair versus Bianca Belair.
Okay, well maybe I'm wrong.
She's in the match.
I'm just telling you what. I mean, this is from Yahoo Sports. So if
Well, Yahoo Sports is wrong.
okay, well that might be the case.
All right,
I
we're
don't-
picking Bianca on that one.
I'm
Let's
down
move
to
on.
pick Bianca, and if it's not Bianca, I do choose Becky Lynch. That's my personal choice. You don't have to have that choice, but that's my choice. Okay,
It's going to be Charlotte Flair for me.
okay. Bianca
queen.
or Charlotte Flair, the queen. Got it. World Heavyweight Championship, Seth Rollins versus Finn Balor.
Confirmed. Still picking Rollins.
Seth freaking Rollins, baby. I'm down for that.
Sure.
Works for me. Undisputed Universal Championship. This is it. This is the big one, isn't it? It's the main event. Roman Reigns versus Jey Uso. I think we all know the answer to this one.
Jey Uso.
Jey Uso, baby, all
I'm-
the way.
Feeling Usi.
I'm feeling you feel as well.
Heck yeah, I'm feeling Usi. Should I wear your feeling Usi shirt to it? The event?
You could.
Yeah, we'll see about that. All right. Well, there you go. That by the time you hear this, you guys are going to be listening and knowing how right or wrong we were about everything. But that is our 2023 SummerSlam predictions. Do you have any surprise entrants that you want to say?
Actually, there's lots of things that's going on at SummerSlam.
Okay, let's keep it quick. What are your extra things that you think might happen?
Well, I do heard rumors about these two where we might see Randy Orton returning at SummerSlam.
That
Wow.
would be so exciting.
Hell
I know,
yeah.
I'll give you so pumped
He's
about
from
it.
St. Louis.
Oh yeah, big Randy Orton guy.
Awesome. And the women should make history before. The longest reigning WWE Divas Champion of the World, AJ Lee, is returning to SummerSlam.
Wow.
Okay. What else?
SummerSlam is going to be freaking wild.
It's going to be freaking wild. Do we expect to see any tractors, forklifts? What do we think?
Zip lines.
Whatever happens at SummerSlam, stays at SummerSlam.
I have a feeling Roman Reigns will be on his bullshit.
I'm not agree to that.
But I am still Team Jey Uso all the way, baby.
Me too.
Heck yeah.
You know, one of my favorite matches in wrestling?
What's that?
Bailey versus Sasha Banks at NXT Brooklyn for the NXT Women's Championship
What year was that?
2015.
All right, great. There you go. A match from the archives. That is going to be all that we have time for today. You can find us on Facebook, Snapchat, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, all Baker Banter. You can find me. My name is Jenna. I am on TikTok, Instagram, and Snapchat. Jenna with 2 A's _BEE. I am going to do Katie's plug for her since she was not here for this weekly wrestling wrap up. She is Katie with 2 Y's _BEE on Instagram and TikTok. And on Snapchat, she is
Katie Baker, 29.
Katie Baker 29 and Mom.
Baker Banter Mom.
Baker Banter Mom on TikTok and Instagram. Thank you guys so much for another great week, another great episode. And next week, you will get to hear our reactions from our trip to Detroit and all of the fun things that happened at SummerSlam. So come back next week. And if you are enjoying this podcast, please tell your friends to follow along and listen too.
Yep.
Thank you so much. Thank you both for being here.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Peace.